You may not be a homeowner yet, but I bet you have one of these where you live. The one I have has a problem. I'm going to fix that in this video, and that gives me the chance to show you how to do it in case you need to do something like this in the home where you live. Let's start with the tools we'll need to do this job. A stronger wall anchor, some screwdrivers, a measuring tape, drill, a pencil, an awl, spackle, and a putty knife. And because I'm going to be looking for the studs in the wall, I'm going to need a stud finder. Start by removing the toilet paper. These fixtures have little set screws on the side that hold it onto the bracket. 60-year-old eyes need a little help. Right in here, there's a little set screw, and if I unscrew that, then I can take this off the bracket. The set screw, when you screw it in, it pokes through the other side. That will pinch on this bracket. Now I can take this one off. The wall anchors inside here have just gotten loose over time. That's what we're going to fix. Take the screws out. I'll use the screw, insert that, and just use that to pull out the old wall anchor. Not all toilet roll holders are the same. On this design, it has this bracket that mounts against the wall. It goes in like that, and then you tighten the set screw. That's what holds it in place. It makes a lot more sense to me to have this bracket this way, because then I've got gravity helping me to hold it on. I can drill new holes here and mount the bracket in this up and down orientation so that gravity is working in my favor. It is possible that I could just put new wall anchors in here and it would be fine, but I don't like having the set screw on the side. I'd rather have the set screw on the bottom, so I'm going to rotate them. Before I drill new holes, I want to see if I'm close to a stud. If there's a wooden beam or a stud going through the wall here, if I can anchor into that, it's going to be a lot sturdier than just going into wall anchors. It's likely there's a stud here either on this side or on this side, because this switch is going to be mounted in a box, and that box will be mounted to a stud. To find the stud, I'm going to use a stud finder. This one works by placing it flush against the wall, pressing these two little buttons at the same time. After it's booted up, slide it across the wall, and it is finding a stud right there. And I move it till the lights are centered on it. If I wanted to, I'd press this button. That little pin sticks out of the back. That would put a mark in the wall letting me know the stud is centered right there. I'm getting a warning for AC, meaning it's finding electricity in here. I could probably get into a stud if I was just over an inch, but since there's electricity on that stud, probably feeding the switch, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to rotate them where they are and we'll put it in there. But that's how you use a stud finder. Felix has come to help. Hello, Felix. I'm going to rotate this bracket by 90 degrees so the set screw is on the bottom. I'm just going to use the bracket itself as a template, and I'm just going to eyeball it to about there and mark that one, and about there and mark that one. Before I drill the new holes, I'm going to sand these old ones. I've sanded these holes. Before I putty them, I'm going to drill the other holes. Because this drill bit is larger, if I just go from eye and try to get it on there and drill it in, it's possible that the drill bit will walk from the hole. To avoid that, I can take an awl and make a little poke hole where the new hole will go, and then the drill bit will stay on that new hole easier. You can also use a finishing nail and a hammer to start that hole. If you're not sure what size drill bit you need, check the instructions that came with your wall anchors. Put your drill bit on that pilot hole. We're going to use this spackle to fill the two holes that we don't want. We take just a little bit on the corner of our putty knife. I want to press that into the hole and then scrape it down. And then I'll do it again to press a little bit more in the hole and scrape it flush with the surface. Do that 2 or 3 times, and you can go over different directions too. And that fills the hole. Okay. Now we're ready to put the new wall anchors in. These are rated for 50 pounds. They go in by pushing and then screwing in the last little bit. So I'm going to push these through this hole and tap them until they get flush there, and then screw it in until it's flush with the wall. Be careful not to over torque it. Because I want the set screw on the bottom, I'm going to be rotating it like this. Well, now the toilet roll holder is going to be pointing down, so I'm just going to unscrew this, rotate it so that it's sideways now, and then tighten this down. I'll do the same with this one so that when it's on the wall with the set screw on the bottom, I can still put the toilet roll holder in between them. The wall anchors come with their own screws, so we're going to use these to go back in. We do want to make sure that the head of this screw will hold the bracket in, and it does. So now we just screw in the new screws into the new wall anchors. When we get a certain distance, we should hear a little pop. That's the wall anchor expanding behind the drywall. There was that pop. Before I tighten this all the way, I'm going to start and do the second one almost all the way. And we'll just position this while we snug it down. Now that's good and firm. And do it again for this one. The last step is to remount these fixtures. I'll rest it on the top of that bracket. And now snug that down. And now they are good and firm. Now we can put the toilet paper back on. Problem solved. One thing to remember is you're never done until you've cleaned up. That feels much better. Guys, now you know how to deal with loose wall anchors if you've got some where you live. If you want to see a video on how to mount a wall-mounted TV bracket, then check out this video right here. Always remember, you can still figure out how to succeed as an adult, even if your dad's not around to help you learn how, and you do have a dad that loves you. And I'll see you on the TV wall mount bracket video. This one right here.